Hi everyone, this is Stephanie from Little Cookie Co. and come make this Christmas stocking with me. So first off, we'll need to outline the top part with our green outline consistency. And make sure if you're looking for my icing recipe, how I make my cookies so they hold their shape, or any kind of tips on tipless bags, or just general tips on how to make better cookies, I have all the information on my channel, tons of tutorials and videos. And you can also check my playlist because they're divided by, Christmas or let's say Easter, and helpful tips and tricks that you need to know. So once we've outlined, we're going to go ahead and flood. And here, this is a smaller cookie here, so I don't need too big of a hole. You can always adjust the hole size. So like if you're doing a bunch of different type of cookies, some are bigger, some are smaller, you can always cut your hole a little bit smaller for the smaller sections, and then if you have bigger sections to flood later on for bigger cookies, you can cut it a little bit bigger to make it go by a little bit faster. This is the stocking from the Wilton 101 box of cookie cutters, and it's not too big. It's about the size of my hand, the palm of my hand, I would say. So you don't need to cut a really, really big hole in your flood icing, because the bigger the hole, the more flood comes out. And when you're doing small sections, you kind of want to control the flow. And when you have a really big hole in a small area, you can't control it as well. So if you end up over flooding that section, the flood can, go over the side of your cookie. We do put an outline border, but if you over flood that section, you still risk having your flood come over the side. So again, I've done the same. I've outlined the bottom of my cookie. I usually let my outline dry for a few minutes before I go ahead and flood it. That just kind of secures the border. When the icing's dry, it kind of stays in place much better. And you can see I have a tiny little hole. You can see the tip of my bag is very small. And sometimes it takes a little bit more pressure. I think it's almost a little bit too small because I really have to squeeze hard. When I'm not going very fast, that means that, the icing is not flowing as fast. But like I said, if I was doing a bigger cookie, I would have cut a bigger hole to make my life easier. But since this is a little bit on the smaller side, it's okay for now. But if you find your hand hurting because you're really having to squeeze that bag to get the icing out, it's probably a good idea to cut the hole just slightly bigger. And always the slightest cut makes a difference. So don't go too crazy cutting, too much off your bag. Once my icing has crusted over and dried a little bit, we're going to add a little bit of detail here. Just a couple of black lines, and then taking my white outline consistency and just adding a couple of balls just to give them a little festive detail here. And that's it. You've got your awesome Christmas stocking. You can add some holly if you'd like on the top, or do a different design or color scheme. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Happy baking.